This is verse 17 of the 18th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus is dealing with the question of how to proceed if a Christian senses that they have been wronged by another, presumably Christian person, at least at the beginning of this conversation. And Jesus, of course, gives a three-step process here. Go to the person privately is the first recourse, and if that works, fine. The controversy has been resolved. If not, Jesus suggests upping the ante a little bit, taking along two or three others who will serve as mediators. Their function is not necessarily to weigh in, offering opinions, although they might certainly do that, but more just to become witnesses of the discussion, so that what is said and what is said in response can all be more or less confirmed by neutral third parties. It's called a mediation, and that is the second step. And if that fails, then Jesus goes ahead with the third step, which begins here. This is verse 17. Ian, if, takes the subjunctive. Parakousse. This is from parakouo. Akouo means to hear. Para means to literally hear alongside, but the sense of it is to not hear. To kind of ignore it, to turn a deaf ear would be sort of idiomatically the idea, postpositive deaf. So, but if he does not hear, outtone them, which is to say those that you've taken along with you in this mediation process, then Jesus leads us to the third step, epe, from lego, I say. This is the third person, or the second person singular, aorist active indicative, say. It's the imperative, actually, to the church, te ecclesia. So say it to the church, becoming even more formal, of course. Now, ian, if, takes the subjunctive, if, but, postpositive, but if also tes ecclesias, if also the church, parakousse, same word, he doesn't hear. Of course, akouo can take the genitive, which is what we have here. So if he does not hear the church, then esto, from a, me, I am, third person singular, present active imperative, let him be, would be the idea. Soi, dative, the second person singular, let him be to you, or with reference to you. Hosper, this is a particle that means just as. Let him be as. Ho, the ethnikos, the one who is a foreigner, a Gentile, is the way it's often rendered. In the context of this discussion, it would be an outsider, one who is not a member of the church, one who is not properly in it. Let him be as a Gentile, kai ho, telones, and a tax collector. Both of those terms, of course, were applicable within the context of a Jewish culture, but insofar as Jesus is discussing the church, he is by analogy indicating that this person should be regarded as an outsider, not a member of the church. That doesn't mean they necessarily become your enemy, but it does mean they become your mission field, that they're not to be considered a brother or sister in Christ because they have flat refused to submit to the authority of the church, which is part and parcel of being a Christian. I might mention that the prohibition in the New Testament against one Christian suing another Christian that we find in 1 Corinthians 6 would therefore become inapplicable. Of course, Christians aren't supposed to run around suing every opportunity they have, but on the other hand, the common grace that's provided through the judicial system is certainly within the parameters of those things that Christians can invoke, not with malice, not with some kind of bitter attitude, but certainly they can bring before the civil magistrate in a situation like this, where it's not one Christian versus another, the appeal that they have to right a wrong, if of course the wrong rises to such a level that such a proceeding would be warranted.